What's going on, family? My name is Peter Cattani, and I'm here to show you another wacky, crazy deck. We're on the road to making DBS great again, and I'm trying not to make Victory Strike, Broly BR, or any of the other meta decks that are out there. The last good deck I made was Toa, but it's been a mission since then. So I'm trying out other things. The anniversary box did bring a bunch of like cool little gimmicks here and there, but they seem very local level. If you love local level decks, then I'm your guy. If you want competitive, talk to Marcel or something. But let me show you this one. This one is going to be Super 17. Now, you might have seen this deck before. Maybe some people have the exact same idea. But I'm going to try my take on it to see, maybe it's good enough. Maybe it's not. But check it out. So let's sort it not by popularity, because no one cares about that. People like about cost. Cost is the thing. I like to do my things from one all the way to the highest. What I really like about this deck is that it has bomb monsters, and the fact that it has bomb creatures, I realized how much I liked it. I wanted to try it with Cell. Cell has some really cool little gimmicks, but that one seemed so deprived, like so needed to awaken, that I'm just like, With this leader, at least I'm drawing even when I'm not awakened, and that's something that's a big deal for me. But let me go all together how this deck works. So Super 17 is your leader with the ability to burst 2. Burst is a horrible mechanic, but in this deck, not that bad. You mill 2 and then you get to draw a card. Alright, not bad. Active, when your life is at 4 or less, you get to untap 2. Untap 2 is amazing. Then it goes to the awakened side. With auto sparking 5, when it attacks, you get to draw a card, and it gains critical. Critical is huge for this kind of leader, because what you're doing is destroying their hand. And with critical, you're not giving them any cards. Then it has this really interesting, barely ever works, but what it does, it's pretty good. Ability that active main, if your opponent has 10 or more cards, they have to go down to 9. Not bad. 9 is still a very high number, but we do have this one little cool combo in the deck that if they have 13 cards, because some decks can't do that. If they have 13 cards and up, we're going to punish them really hard. So let's get to the deck. First, we are running Shocking Death Ball. Sparking Negate, because we don't overwhelm at all, so the Sparking should work at any point. Helps us awaken, helps us be tapped out and still negate. And when you negate an attack, you destroy a 2 or less battle card on your opponent's side, which is huge against Kid Goku. Also really good for our boss monster, but we're gonna see it soon. Next might be my favorite. I think maybe my favorite. Like, if I had a top 5, for sure, this card is definitely in my top 5 of DBS cards. Huge fan of this card. It's a field card that, once per turn, if a green battle card comes from the drop area to the field, you get to draw a card. Really cool, barely ever works, but when it does, you feel good about it. Then it has a really cool ability that for 2 green and 2 colorless, you can grab any 4-drop or lower from your drop area and bring it into play by getting rid of the field card. Very cool. So like, it's healing whatever's in the graveyard. Okay, Wakanda right here, cool. And come turn 4, you can bring out the play that you really want to bring out. I'm a huge fan of this card. It doesn't see too much play, which I understand because the meta became super fast with an 8-drop coming out on turn 2, with Victory Strike winning in turn 4. Just too much. This card is just one of my favorites. Next is a new card that came out from Anniversary Box. Android 14 and 15. It's a card that has both the names into one. So now Android 13 can actually see some play, because back then you had to fill your deck with some 13 or 14s to be able to Union Fusion. It was too difficult. This card is both. We are not an Android 13 leader, so we don't get the active main ability where you can place this in the drop area. If your leader card is an Android 13, draw 1 card. We can't do that. We don't get to draw a card, but with bursting, we're going to see it in the graveyard, or we just combo it away. It's not a big deal. Next, it's not Paragus. There is other green super combos if you don't know. It is a Android 16 super combo. If your leader is a green Android, which our leader is, and your life is 4 or less, choose 1 card. Your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and place it in a drop area, and this card gains 10k. So instead of other super combos, what normally is 10k, draw a card. this card is 10k, your opponent discards a card. Really interesting. I believe it's the only card that does that, or the only super combo that has like a different kind of ability outside of, you know, drawing. It discards. Now there's Shugesh, there's Kai that bounces. There's a few, you're right. But this one was actually effective. This actually saw a lot of play outside of Shugesh. But it's all play. It's pretty good. I like it for this leader mostly because of our boss monster. We're getting there. We're going up. Next is a card that people question all the time. They're like, oh, you're tapping out just to search for one android. You kind of need it because come turn 3 is our big play, and this searches for either piece that we need. When you play this card, choose one battle card including android in its name other than android 28 from the deck and add it to your hand. So any of the androids that we need. Sometimes it's 17, barely ever, but most of the time for 13 or 14, 15, we need it in our hand for our combo to work by turn 3. This searches the missing piece we're missing. Good card. Next is 4 of this 2-drop 17. It bursts 3 and gains critical and 5k. So it swings for 15 crit. Not bad. It's okay. It's mostly the fact that it's a name 17, which is important for very soon. We'll show you. And the critical is kind of cool, but we don't really care on a lot of situations. Sometimes it works. But it's mostly the fact that it's an Android 17 that we need for this guy over here. But we'll get to that in a second. For this Krillin, the reason why is because most likely it was going to be in the sideboard. General Tao, Merciless Tao, 2-drop that hurts all green decks for discarding. It's a monster. This Krillin helps us destroy that monster. It also gets rid of a lot of like annoying cards. The Victory Strike Broly deck runs the Master Roshi Shin draw 2 cards. That combo is absurd. I hate that card, or those cards. That this Krillin automatically gets rid of it. Kills just important things. Let's say you're going against a Lord Slug player. They have wings on the board. You're like, oh, Krillin. Bam. Really good. Most of the time, you were going to side it in anyways. So for this, we just have it main board. If we don't need it, we charge it. Simple as that. Next is 2 of this card that we're trying to make good. I'm sure if you guys went to your events and got your championship pack, Vegeta, super expensive. Everything else, affordable. This Broly is affordable. Really interesting card that for 2 green, if your leader is green, play this from your drop area. So it's a battle card that's green that comes out from drop area into play. Without wasting a card, you don't have to discard a card or anything. It automatically, it's almost like a +1. If you have Vegeta's Birthing Pod on the board, turn 1, turn 2, you burst, you somehow magically hit this, oh sweet. You pay 2, you draw a card, and you have a creature on board. It's almost like a +2. You drew 1 for a Birthing Pod, and you have a creature on board to put pressure. It's a really solid card, this little combo. Big fan. Next, it's Hellfighter 17. It's not Android 17, so we can't search it with Android 20, but it's a card that's barrier and Union Absorb for free. By placing 1 Android 17 card from your hand or drop area under this card, choose 1 Super 17 with energy 4 from your deck or drop area, and play it on top of this card. Then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Okay, with bursting, we're milling a bunch of cards. If we so happen mill the 4 drops that we're trying to get into, you know, we can mill the 17 or they die, whatever the case. We suck it up from the graveyard, and then from the graveyard we bring out one of the 2 Android 17s from the drop area. If we did, we get to draw a card with Birthing Pod. So now we have 2 cards that automatically work for this Birthing Pod. Not bad. Birthing Pod can grab us a threat that we need on turn 4. If not, it can replace itself turn 2, turn 3. It's a solid card, guys. Trust me. Next is Anniversary Box Android 13. Union Absorb for free, and God knows how important that is because the last Android 13 was like a 4-drop and you had to pay 1, so it became like a 5-drop. It was too hard. This is a 3-drop, no cost to Union Absorb. You choose 1 Android 14 and 15 from your drop area. I know it gets a little confused because it's and, so you think it needs to be 2 cards. This card counts as just 1. This card counts as both of them. Into it, it fits the requirements. Trust me, guys, it's in the rulings. You choose 14 and 15 in your drop area and place them under this card. If your leader card is an Android, which we are, Choose one Android 13 card from your hand with energy cost 7 and play it on top of this card. Boom, we get a 7 drop on turn 3. Solid. It has a permanent that you can't play this card from any area if there is an Android 13 card in your battle area. Okay? That's fair. Very fair. Very needed, that text. Because Android 13 7 drop is quite a monster, and 2 on the board at the same time, very dangerous. So I'm really happy they have that kind of permanent. Next is another 17. He's a 3-drop blocker that at the end of the turn you switch this to active. Not that it's really important. It's just another 17 that we needed for the name because 4 wasn't enough. So we added 2 more to have 6 17. So this guy can Union Absorb either or. Not bad. 1 Shenron. Why Shenron? I like the card. I'm a fan. It untaps 2 with a leader that barely untaps. It can draw a card, bring a 2-drop out. 2-drop can be 20 to search something, and it drew a card already. Or a super combo, so Shenron drew a card, and now I'm discarding the card. Not bad. It can bring a Krillin to destroy something. If it brings out a Krillin or Broly, or even any of these, if it brings out any of the green ones, I get to draw another card. The 1 Shenron ain't bad. Oh, but like, what if you mill it? Well, if I mill it, on turn 4, I can sack the Birthing Pod and bring out Shenron, and then use the ability to draw a card on tap 2. And I get a free Shenron. Your opponent has to deal with it. If not, I can do some crazy plays turn 5. It's a pretty good card. Next is only one of this Super 17. When permanent, this attack can't be negated. Pretty cool if you know your opponent is holding negates and you're like, oh, I'm going to stop you and bring out this guy. When you play this card, you may choose up to 2 cards from your hand, place in the drop area. If you do, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and place in the drop area. Not up to 2. You may choose 2. You have to choose 2. If you only have 1 card in hand, you can't do this effect. That's a ruling. Please know that. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to discard anything. You got to discard 2. No, you have to discard 2 for them to discard 2. It's very balanced, very fair card. In certain situations, this 3-drop is going to go into that guy. Very rare though. It doesn't happen all the time. But when certain situations come up, you're like, I have the answer. Boom, discard these 2. No hand. We're going in. Next is the main one that you're always going to go into. We only play 2 because we don't play Overwhelm. So he should be in the deck or drop area. And try not to get this guy, like try not to charge him until you see that there's another one in deck or drop area. Very important. And we do have a searcher to check the whole deck to see. So that's very important to know. When it comes into play, it has Barrier and Deflect. Awesome. When it comes into play, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Sweet. Removal. We love removal. Then it has Union Absorb for 2 green and 2 colorless. Choose 1 cell from your hand or drop area, place it on this card. Then choose 1 Super 17 with the energy cost of 6 from your deck or drop area. So we get to draw cards if we bring them out. And play it. If you look through your deck, shuffle it and all that. Cool. But what cell do you play? You need cells. Why does it suck up cell? I don't know. I never saw that episode. But we play the pseudo combo cell that it's critical. Cool. Not a big deal. But when you play this card or combo with it, draw 1 card. Not bad. So we have pseudo combos to defend ourselves, and it's a cell that we just need 1 in the graveyard to make this 4-drop active, to bring it out, to bring out this monster, this beast. It's the second boss of the deck. It's critical, dual attack, already good, and deflect. There will be no cold bloods or crusher ball. Auto, sparking 10, which is fine. We run no overrun, so sparking 10 is not a big deal. When this card attacks, if your leader is green Android, which we are, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places it in the drop area. Theoretically, that's 4 cards out of their hand because we are dual attack. Every time we swing, 2 cards out of their hand. All right, stands itself. Swing in, 2 cards out of their hand. Very big deal. Really strong, but the main strong card. The reason for this whole deck is this monster, Android 13. It's been around forever. And no one played it, but now with this anniversary box, maybe it might see play. It is double strike, kind of cool. When you play this card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their battle area and KO it. Your opponent chooses, you don't, but that's okay because the neck effect. When one of your opponent's battle cards is placed in the drop area from any area by any of your skills other than this one, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. So automatically, if they kill one of the things, they have to discard 1 card. Pretty cool. Our whole deck makes him put battle cards, or hopefully battle cards, into the drop area by one of our effects. Critical. Our leader is a critical leader that when we swing at life, if we hit a battle card and it goes to drop area, triggers, discard a card. The really cool ability that put their hand down to 9, let's say they had 13 cards. We have to put them down to 9. They discard 4. If they discard 4 battle cards, very rare, but if they discard 4 battle cards, they have to discard another card for each battle card that went to the drop area. So that's 4 more cards. And we didn't do anything. We just have a boss on the board. Very cool. Our super combo, they got to discard a card. Of course, they're going to discard an event card, but if they discard a battle card, discard another card. And just multiple cards are going to do that. Same thing with this Android 17. They discard 2 cards. If they're battle cards, discard more. This guy discarding 4 any battle cards, which most decks have a very high number of battle cards, more than event cards. Discard more. That's the whole purpose of this deck, is Android 13. Get them on the board and start using your effects to get them to drop battle cards to the drop area. Start discarding cards. Even this Krillin, it pops. This guy, critical, hit battle cards. Very cool. I like it, and this is the whole concept of the deck. These little cards over here on the side for sideboard is in case you're going against Victory Strike, because Victory Strike probably doesn't want to hit you. You know, Broly BR, Kid Goku, those decks hurt your life anyway, so these cards are not that important. But maybe for sideboard wise, putting these in wouldn't be bad. TN is pretty interesting because when you combo 2, you bring them out. But something that I learned with Birthing Pod is these cards actually go to the drop area. When you combo 2, at the end of the battle, they go to the drop area, but then they trigger and come to the field. They come from the drop area to the field, and that's all the free combos, like free Gohan and all those things that you pay 1. They go to the drop area first and then come on the board. So the green ones can draw a card on your opponent's turn with Birthing Pod. Ideas, guys. TN is one of those cards that can do that. Helps you self-awaken too, because like cards like these that take a life or take up to 2 life, that's only once when like they swing or when they play. TN is not once per turn. If you have 8 life, you can choose one of your life, send their drop area, then choose another life, add it to your hand, do it again. You can awaken just by playing this TN, if that's needed. And also removing any battle card is pretty cool. This Yamcha makes them discard 1 card, which is kind of cool if we have the boss on the board and they discard a battle card, discard another one, and it's critical, so maybe it affects again. And last but not least, this guy is also critical, gains his 2, swinging 30k, very strong. Also, I forgot to tell, but Shenron is critical, very strong. 30, giving it 35, double strike crit. Oh, we're going to town if they can't stop it. But this is the wacky deck that I made. Is it tier level? Maybe someday. It's very close to being good. It's just Victory Strike is very, very good, and a hand destruction deck against Broly BR is kind of pointless. But you know, try it out, see if you like it, and if you do, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Later, guys.